Hello, my sweet summer children. This video will be a different type of video than my normal storytelling videos or theory videos. If you like these kinds of videos, let me know in the comments, and if you don't, I'm sure you're gonna let me know too. But I've been asked many times how I think A Song of Ice and Fire will end, and I have some answers for you. I will take a crack at what I think is going on and what the bigger picture is, but in the end, only that sick bastard knows what he's going to do and if he's just going to kill everyone. And when I say sick bastard, I'm saying that with the most endearing feelings in my heart because I do love him. So my theory of the ending goes off of where Martin draws inspiration from, what's happened so far, and just where it feels like it's going. So we know Martin draws inspiration from other fantasy writers, real life history, and Greek mythology and Norse mythology, and all kinds of other mythology. Firstly, I want to address similarities between A Song of Ice and Fire and the fantasy series Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn by Tad Williams. Just in case you haven't had the chance to read it, I'm not going to go into great detail. I mean, I'm going to have to go into some detail just for the sake of this video, but I'm not going to go into great detail because I don't want to spoil it for you, because if you have the chance, I think you should read it. Martin himself has said this is the series that inspired him to write A Song of Ice and Fire. The surface level parallels between both of the series are crazy. And I will actually link them below so you can read them if you want. Or you could take my word for it that it's eerily similar. So there's Children of the Forest, there's White Walkers and Long Night, there's High Lords that are playing games while there's a bigger picture that they don't know anything about. There's a girl princess dressed as a boy traveling the world learning to use a sword. There's like comets, and there's a Jon Snow with a secret parentage. There's Melisandre, there's a Daenerys that winds up going mad. There's wolves, there's a boy who likes climbing castle walls, but forget all that. With that being said, one of the biggest mind fucks when doing comparisons is there's a prophecy that basically the whole book is kind of centralized on, and the prophecy is heavily misinterpreted by everyone, every character. And with that being said, this Azor Ahai prophecy, or the prince who was promised prophecy, or the stallion who mounts the world prophecy, or every prophecy ever could be misinterpreted by all of us, but more importantly, it could be misinterpreted by the characters themselves. So we already see how Melisandre misinterpreted Stannis to be Azor Ahai once before. So the first thing that I think that will contribute to the end game of the series will have something to do with misinterpreted prophecy. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It doesn't mean that it won't happen. It just means it could be interpreted wrong by the characters, and it could mean or happen completely different than any of the characters think. So I've also wondered if the others are merely like acting out of some self-preservation or some kind of prophecy that they had themselves. Or maybe they heard of Azor Ahai and they were just threatened by it, so they decided to raise an army. Like maybe one day someone was like, hey, Night King, there's this man and he's coming with a fiery sword to bring on a summer that never ends. And the Night King was like, oh no, hold up, wait a minute, start making an army. Next, I also think, comparing where Martin gets his inspiration from in the text, that we will have this great big battle for Dawn, and I don't think that's disputed by anyone really. But to further answer the question of how it ends, we must draw again from one of Martin's sources, and that is Norse mythology. My first two videos ever on YouTube were character comparisons from Norse mythology, and I'll link them at the top so you can watch those if you want. The similarities to the characters are actually mind-blowing when you look at it. But I think this battle for Dawn draws heavily on Ragnarok. So what is Ragnarok?
Let's show this ignorant Christian what Ragnarok is.
The twilight of the gods will happen like this. There will be 3 years of terrible winters and summers of black sunlight. People will lose all hope and surrender to greed, incest, and civil war. Midgard's sawman, the world's serpent, will come lunging from the ocean, dragging the tides in and flooding the world. The wolf, giant Fenrir, will break his invisible chains. The skies will open, and Soot, the fire giant, will come flaming across the bridge to destroy the gods. Odin will ride out of the gates of Valhalla to do battle for a last time against the wolf. Thor will kill the serpent, but die from its venom. Surt will spread fire across the earth. At last, Fenrir will swallow the sun.
So this clip is from the show Vikings from the History Channel. It's an awesome show. If you're not watching it, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. So anyway, Ragnarok is considered the twilight of the gods or the doom of the gods. It's a series of apocalyptic events that will define the end of the world, where giants of frost and fire will together fight the gods in a final battle that will ultimately destroy the planet, and the world will be repopulated by 2 human survivors. So the gods Balder and Hod will return from the dead to fight in this great battle. Balder is Rhaegar in every way imaginable. So the result of the war will be that Thor, Odin, and most of these gods will die. And dragons will release fire that will destroy all life on Earth. Surt will come from the south with his fiery flaming sword, and once he melts all the ice, the world will end. So the apocalyptic story of Ragnarok shows the battle between gods. It's a battle with severe consequences for both humans and gods. The humans are the collateral damage in the war between the gods. So in A Song of Ice and Fire, we have all these religions and deities. We have the old gods, the red gods, the Lion of Night, the Drowned God, the Great Other, the Great Stallion, the Great Shepherd, the Black Goat, the Gaskari religions. Before the Valerians adopted the faith of the Seven, they worshiped gods named Balerion, Vagar, and Meraxes, and later named their dragons after those gods. But according to the Black Flame, the Red Priest, he says that there are only 2 gods, and that's the Great Other and the Lord of Light. Now, I disagree with him. And I feel like the dualist idea of 2 gods locked in eternal battle is boring and has existed forever. Like, that's what everything is always based on. So I feel like Martin turned it up a notch, and most of those gods or deities are truly supernatural beings or have to do with magic in some kind of way. And this war is their doing. So where does that leave us? In my opinion, the White Walkers are soldiers for the Great Other, and humans aren't their enemy, but they need humans for the war with the gods. That leaves us at what? Where does that leave us? Now, Martin said the bittersweet ending, sort of like Lord of the Rings, is what he's aiming for. And Lord of the Rings was said to be bittersweet, but in my opinion, besides Frodo having a broken spirit and having to leave Middle-earth, nothing else really seemed bitter about it. I mean, I guess you could say because the Shire was basically destroyed. So what I'm theorizing, based off of all the texts and Martin's inspirations, mythologies, what I can see is this country being engulfed in a war. Not just a single battle at first. Similar to like Greek mythology, like the Battle of the Titans type of thing. And the war will consist of small battles, and then one big ass battle will take place. The ultimate battle of the gods, which will cause some of the gods or supernatural beings to be destroyed, and a great loss of life within the human race. Parts of Westeros will basically be burned and changed, similar to the Shire and the Lord of the Rings. It will need to be rebuilt. Now, if we go wholeheartedly on the Ragnarok Norse mythology theory, then there will be two human survivors, and that would be Sam and Gilly, in my opinion. But that doesn't seem bittersweet. That seems like some bullshit. So I feel there will be more survivors than just two, to be honest. I think by this time, Daenerys will have gone mad, like all the way crazy, like mad queen crazy, like batshit, worse than Cersei. Maybe not, I don't know. Jon will be our Frodo, but Bran and Tyrion will be the rebuilders of the world. So we have misinterpreted prophecy, a battle of the gods, leaving man kind of fucked and needing to reset and rebuild. So let me know what you guys think of this theory. Also, let me know how you think it will end. Don't forget to check out my other videos on Norse mythology. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at This Gray Area and Twitter as well. I have some very fun fandom stuff coming up. I actually can't wait. You might love it, you might hate it, I don't know. But I'm also working on other videos for theories and all this kind of interesting stuff that you don't want to miss. So please subscribe if you like these type of videos, if you like the other kind of videos I do, if you just like my channel in general. Thanks for watching. Like this video if you like it. Okay, sweet summer children, good night.